Mike, who's chairing it?
Mike is.
Okay.
I'm just the host.
But we super appreciate you though.
My pleasure. I've been doing
Ella,
Zoom read for a while, so I'm used to hosting for other people.
That's super appreciated. Ella, do you have audio yet? Come in, Ella.
See if I
Still
can
nothing,
find her
eh?
and help her out here.
Yeah, you have to join by clicking with computer audio, so.
Yeah, I can maybe help her out here.
Okay. Says, I don't know. I use it from my phone for the first time.
I just sent a request for her to start with audio, and so
That might work.
yep. Okay, so now we just got to get her. She's got her camera on and she's connecting to audio. So there we go.
Oh, yes.
There we go.
Nice haircut.
Oh, Devin wants to come in. Okay, Devin, come on in.
Ella, how's it going? Can you hear us? Devin, hello. Okay.
Oh, what a big meeting.
Yeah, seriously.
Wow.
Okay, Mr. M, you want to get this ball rolling?
Yeah. I am sure Ella will turn her camera back on shortly. Okay, yeah, Janet, let's start that.
Okay.
So, yeah, guys, thank you for coming. This is a bit of a pilot. It's our first time doing this online, but I don't know, it's about time, and who knows when the pandemic will end. So here we are.
2090.
Day of the month. What's that?
2090.
Oh my God.
Right, so we might have to get used to doing this online. But ultimately, I still really believe in doing these meetings so that we can talk about what we're all working on. And if we know what everyone else is working on, we can support each other's efforts. And if we can support each other's efforts, then I'm pretty sure we can all get more done. So that is sort of the purpose behind doing these meetings. So there is a chat function in Zoom for anyone who's new to Zoom. And if somebody says something and you'd like to respond to just them, you can actually select who you are chatting with. So that is an option. If someone says something and you have an idea that you only want them to hear, you can go to the chat, select to just that person, and then type it in. Or you can just chat it to everyone, and that's also fine. And yeah, I think that's it. You can turn off your camera or your audio when someone else is talking so that there's less background noise, but you don't have to. If you're going to the bathroom, please do turn off your audio and your camera, but I guess you don't have to. So yeah, so we'll just dive in here. Usually what we do with these meetings is we start by going around the table and one by one, everyone, hello, Stephen, glad you made it, welcome. One by one, everyone just sort of introduces them and talks about what they've been up to lately. So I don't know, is everyone seeing everyone in the same order? I've got Janet, Michael, Danute, Michael, Jeffrey, Martin, Gary, Evangeline. Like, is that the same order for everyone?
No,
No,
you
it's
know, Mike, just go by your order. Just say the name and the person will jump
Yeah.
in.
That works best, yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'll just say who goes in when. Yeah, so we're just gonna go through everyone and just give everyone a chance to talk a little bit about, introduce themselves to anyone they don't know yet, and talk a little bit about what they've been up to lately and how the pandemic is treating them from a filmmaking perspective. Although if you'd like to talk about how it's been treating you personally, we're here for your emotional support as well. And once we get through everyone, I think at the end of each person's thing, we'll give a couple minutes for if anyone has questions for them specifically. Then we'll move on to the next person. And then at the end, maybe we can go through everyone. And if anyone has a question or something they want to discuss, we can go through it at that point. Does that make sense to everyone? We're all good with this? Yeah. All right. So Janet, let's start with you because you're the first one
I'm first
the
on your list.
order.
Okay. Well, my name is Janet Swainston, and I live in Cambridge. And I am a writer-director. Been doing that since I was in high school. And I've done 4 short films. And right now, I am mostly doing a lot of writing because I don't have a camera for myself at the moment. And plus, you know, other people. That's kind of difficult to film other people when you're in isolation. So
Yeah, now is not the best time for other people.
yeah, now is not the best time, but I'm doing a lot of writing. I've just finished, I entered a couple of contests, didn't place, but that's okay. I entered one of the projects in the Netflix Canada Pitch Day. I'm crossing my fingers. Haven't heard anything negative yet, so I'm gonna go no news is good news. And I'm going to also submit a project to the Imagine Impact Netflix prompt. They just released a new prompt. It's for female-led thrillers.
Oh.
I happen to have one of those. Been working on a lot of short films, like writing short films for people. I've got a Twitter presence. I'm almost at 1,500 people. And I've made a lot of connections with a lot of actors around the world, or actors, writers, directors, producers, some industry people. And I've been doing table reads. I started out doing Zoom table reads just for my work and then opened it up to other writers if they wanted to hear their work, because I find sometimes as a writer, you know, if you can't hear how it sounds, you don't know if it's working. So I've been doing table reads for the last 3 months. I've got one of mine coming up this Sunday for a sci-fi action that I wrote, and got some really good actors to come and read for me, and that's what I've been doing.
Wowza. That's pretty good. Way to go. Congrats.
Yeah, Janet, that's very cool. Thank you. The table reads thing is very interesting because I really, that's a great resource for writers acting, as it were, and just get to play. Post, I'm digging. I hope you will post something about that in the group, because we do have people that want more acting experience who would probably love to sub in for some of the reads.
Absolutely. And yeah, there's quite a lot of, I mean, I'm doing about 2 table reads a month, because I mean, I have to allow for other people's schedules and my own schedule kind of thing, things that I can manage to do. And then, so I've got 2 table reads coming up. One is mine, as I said, on October 4th, and then I'm doing another one on October 25th, I think it is. And, you know, I essentially say, you know, I'm happy to post the link to the table read. I'll post it in the KW group. If anyone wants to come on Sunday, you're welcome to come. I can host up to 100 people, so I don't have 100 people coming yet. And yeah, and I mean, I'll when I do another table read and I'm looking for actors, I'll definitely post a casting call and say, okay, I need an actor and here's the part, and you know, come on in. And I record them all, and then I put them up on YouTube so people can watch them. So I'll post those links as well. Some really amazing people I've connected with on Twitter. So
Yeah, Janet, that's very cool. And I mean, I know that it's a great resource for writers as well. If a writer wants to, you know, ask you to help them set up a table read or work with you to set one up, how would they approach you about that?
okay. Well, usually what I do is if it's on Twitter, I say, look, if you're following me, send me a private message. Or they can just respond to the post if they don't follow me, and then I know that we have to follow each other so we can get the information. What they need to do is they need to send me, like, you know, or we can do it by email. I do that as well. And then they just send me 2 or 3 dates that work for them, and then I look at my schedule and we figure out what dates work. We pick a time, and depending on whether you're using, like, where the actors are, because I have quite a lot of actors from the UK and quite a lot from the West Coast as well. So it's kind of like, I kind of have to, you know, I don't want it to be too late for them, but too early for the people on the West Coast. So my table read this Sunday is at noon. So then essentially what happens is if they need help recruiting actors, fine, I help with that. If you know, because I mean, a lot of writers aren't necessarily directors as well, so they don't sort of understand the process of what it is to sort of cast this kind of thing. I help making posters, I promote it, you know, coming up to the event, and I record it, and then once I've recorded it, I then send them the recording, and then they can post it or do whatever they want. So that's pretty much how it goes.
So what
Well,
happens with the final product?
Well, essentially, I leave that up to whoever it is. I mean, for me personally, I post it to my YouTube channel, and then I post a link all over the place on Facebook and Twitter and what have you. Another gentleman that I've done hosted 2 Zoom table reads for, he has his own website and he posts it up on his website. So it's essentially, it's up to the actor, but I mean, if they need help setting up a YouTube channel for themselves, absolutely, I'll help them do that too.
Well, Janet, that's really cool. Thank you. I think I hope that's something that we will also take you up on, and that's fantastic that, you know, you're working with actors literally around the globe. I guess that's one plus side of the pandemic, is that you can do an online table read over Zoom, release the video to YouTube, do everything online, and be working with actors from across the world. That's really neat that you're doing that, and I hope we will be able to take you up on that, because it's very exciting.
I hope so too. I mean, like I said, I'm more than happy to do it for people. It's a lot of fun. People seem to enjoy it. Some of the actors that I've been working with, and some of the ones that I'm working with this Sunday, are actually professional working actors. Now, they're not, you know, they've had small parts or done short films or done independent films, but 2 of my leads are actually, you know, have done independent films and worked with some big names, and, you know, like Jane Seymour and Al Pacino, and, you know, and it's like, oh, okay. So, you know, they were like the one young man, he did a restaurant scene with Jane Seymour in a movie that she did. And it was like, okay. And he posts pictures of him acting with Jane Seymour, and I'm kind of like, wow, okay, that's exciting. So, you know, Twitter has been a great resource for that in general. Hello?
Yeah, sorry, you cut out for a second, or maybe it was mine. I don't know.
No.
Yeah, well, you know, Janet, that's fantastic, and you're getting these fantastic people to read with you and work with you. This is very, very cool stuff. I applaud you on your use of technology to overcome the pandemic and still be creating. That's really, really cool.
Thanks.
Anyone else have questions for Janet right now? Anyone else have something on their mind for Janet?
Janet, what is your Twitter handle? I'd love to follow you.
I am, I think it's Unicorn Films. That's it. Unicorn Films.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
We should all do that. Janet, if you want to throw that in the chat,
Yep, I
then
will.
we can all. By the end of this, any of us who aren't following each other should probably follow each other. Just saying. All right, so Janet, thank you very much. Super cool that you're doing that stuff. Yeah, I'll definitely, I have a friend who's got something he wants a table read for, so
Great. Send
I'll
him my
reach
way.
out to him about that and see if he wants to go to you.
Yeah.
So next on my list, what's that, sorry?
Janet, are you on Facebook as well, or?
I am, but not under my. It's just for my family. So my so that I can keep contact with my family. I don't do. That's not
All right.
my. I call it, that's not my professional. So if you want to get in touch with me, it's best to get in touch with me on Twitter.
Yeah, I don't use Twitter, but okay.
Well, you can get in touch with me through the KW Facebook group if you want to,
Yeah,
and
that's
it's
fine.
just my name, Janet Elizabeth.
Cool. Yeah, I'm not on, I need to get back on Twitter. It just, I don't know. It was Instagram. I'm too
I
selfie
know, but
addicted.
Twitter
Instagram is
can
more my
be a bit
speed.
of a black hole sometimes.
It can't, well, like any social media, you're scrolling through until 2 a.m. So next on our list, I actually have Danny. Danny, are you ready to go?
Yeah, Yeah.
All right.
Gary's going to leave in 5 minutes.
This is a good point. Gary, can we bug you to talk to us first?
Sorry, Danny, but he's leaving in 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I've been I work in theater mostly, but actually Michael and I did a workshop with this crazy Tunisian director about 5 years ago. And anyways, what's that? Sorry. Oh, you're muted.
Just saying, it was a mind job for me.
I think he's frozen. Okay. Anyways, yeah, so we worked with this Tunisian director, and later on, our company went to Tunisia twice and did a couple of international festivals and toured around Asia. The Middle East. And anyways, I made some contacts there, and I'm starting to work on a new play with a Tunisian performer based on a verbatim play I wrote here in Kitchener for Women's Crisis Services about domestic abuse. And then a Mexican NGO was interviewing artists around the world, and she was interviewing me. And after we got off the line, she said, I'd love to talk about that work you're doing with the Tunisian. And so anyways, long story short, we're doing an English version, an Arabic version, and a Spanish version of the play. All of us are doing like smaller versions of it. Like they're all going to do their own interviews, including the Mexican girl had her best friend, her mother was kidnapped because she was dating somebody with a cartel and murdered. And so she's interviewing her best friend, talking about a survivor of a murder. And our story is actually Denise Bordeaux, who is one of the missing murdered Aboriginal women. And so it's very dark piece actually. But we're already got picked up to go and take that most likely to Canada, but then to Mexico, Tunisia, and Russia. So, and that all happened because I had more time in my hands than I knew what to do with. And so I was just contacting my friends around the world, and we started chatting and said, hey, we should do something, which we always do, right? Everybody's, said we should do something, but I actually started to do something. And so that's the one project I'm doing. And the other project I'm just doing now today was like I'm saying, working with an artist who does these sculptures and this dancer, and all of us on our own by ourselves creating the work. So she creates the sculpture, the other person does dance, and then I edit it, and I do the green screen onto the sculpture with multiple angles. And so yeah, it's been fun to play around with that. And then I have another friend who's a Danish filmmaker. She's just did the Rushed, if you can check that out. This got released, Rushed, which is with, what's his name, Robert Patrick from Terminator 2. And anyways, she's an old friend, and had downtime. I had downtime, so we started working on a television series together. And her Danish producer's looking at that. So yeah, so it's kind of those, like, I have downtime, I'm going to start working on my more ambitious projects. And usually I do one ambitious project, but right now I'm doing a bunch of them. And because I don't think nothing's coming to fruition, so you're just incubating it, and like nobody's going to go filming or anything like that. But anyway, so that's what's going on with that. Those are the kind of the two major things that I'm doing right now. But it's really interesting, like you're saying, Janet, about now everybody's doing Zoom meetings, so I can talk to somebody next door, or I can talk to somebody in Denmark and Mexico and Tunisia. And yeah, we're all, I mean, we're all full-time professional artists, but it's interesting that, everybody has, like, has tons and tons of downtime. Because, like I was busy until the end of the year, theoretically. We were going to go to Morocco and Turkey with our show. We were going to create a new show. So I had and I had 4 of my plays were being produced, and all of them got canceled. So it was like, I went from a really, really great year to 0 in 2 weeks.
How long is this meeting?
Oh, sorry. Don't know.
How long is this meeting?
I set it for about 3 hours.
Oh,
Doesn't
okay.
have to be that long, but I've
Yeah.
given us 3 hours to
Yeah,
chat.
usually we go 7 to 9.
So anyways,
Right.
that's, yeah. So no, Michael, that's basically me for now.
Gary, wow. I mean, you're, it's so cool, first of all, that you were literally going international before the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
But it's also really cool that then the pandemic hit, and now you're going even more international.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
This play sounds really meaningful and important as well, and that's really amazing that it's getting picked up like that.
Yeah. Actually, it was done here. It was called Rage Against Violence. It was done for Women's Crisis Services in Waterloo 3 or 4 years ago. And it turned out it was supposed to be done once, and then I got a bunch of requests for other people to do it across the country, and so then we called them up and said, can we do it? And we made it royalty free, which I don't tend to do, right? But we made it royalty free because all the women who told us these stories, or the support workers told you these stories, were thinking they were doing it for a fundraiser for Women's Crisis Services. So then we said, we'll do it again, and then we talked to them again and said, well, we're going to do it with the developing countries, because the story is so powerful, and so then it started replicating itself. Yeah.
That is fantastic. That is, really, really indicative for me of the power of the kind of things we do to really change things, to really help things, to really help people change and learn and grow. So well done. Congratulations on that, man. That's really cool.
Thank you.
Anyone else have questions for Gary right now about his amazing international work?
I just got to say, that's awesome. That's all I'm gonna-
Thanks. Thanks.
Amazing. That's all I have to say.
Thanks. Thanks.
Yeah.
I'll send you a
no,
link,
it
Michael. I'll send you a
really
link
is.
to the stuff that we already did, like a tester versions of videos. I'll send you a link, Michael, and you can send it to the others. Some of the stuff we've been doing.
Yeah, sounds good. I will do that. That's that is also pretty wild that you are putting a dancer on top of a sculpture that a sculptor is sculpting. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool as well.
Yeah. It
That's
was,
groundbreaking green screen technology.
yeah, it's been fun. I mean, she does these very architectural things, so it makes sense, but it's foreshortened. Yeah. So, yeah. It's Heather Caucus.
Still very, very cool.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, cool, amazing. We're gonna. Oh, sorry, I have a problem with being outside. Cars drive by. Yeah. So Gary, that's amazing work. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. We're gonna keep rolling along here, and Danny, I believe you were next on my list. Would you like to dive in?
Yeah. We shot a couple of things for a proof of concept last fall. We're still working on putting that together. We're also working on a script for that. So I think at some point, Janet, you and I should get together and figure out a table read because the script is almost done.
Sounds good.
We've been working, doing color grading on my feature film. We're working long distance on it with my color gradist, but they've now moved to Ontario. So we've been able to get together and also remotely work on color grading the feature. So we're about halfway done. Audio is coming along really good, and I'm getting some original music put down for it. So my feature's coming along really good, like 2 years later, but it's coming. In the spring, the 48-hour film group challenge people put together a series of 48-hour stay-at-home or stuck-at-home film challenges. And we did all 4 of them. They're up on my webpage if you want to look at them. Everything was done remotely. It was really cool. One of them, we actually got to work with actors in New York, in San Francisco, and our composer was from Italy. So really nice sort of getting to work with people we hadn't worked with before, as well as some local talent like Michael and Michael. So it was challenging filmmaking remotely because our actors would have to film stuff, send us the footage, we'd have to review the footage, then we'd have to send our notes back to them, and then they'd have to refilm stuff. And you know, we'd be online talking about, you know, the characterization, what we wanted. And, you know, it was an interesting challenge, but we came up with some real fun films. Like I said, they're up on my webpage. I posted a link, I think, somewhere on the KW network. Most recently, we just finished shooting a short film with a small cast and crew. We've all had contact with each other since COVID began. So we're kind of in a sort of a circle, but we still took all the precautions when our actors weren't actually physically acting with masks and stuff, because we shot out doing guerrilla style out in public. We've entered that into the Road Challenge this year, and that link is up. So please, please, please go and vote for me. I'd like to win. I don't expect to win the big prize, which is 75,000 US, but getting a People's Choice would be kind of nice with the number of votes. I think when I looked last, there were 13 films from Canada that were entered, and we were second in number of votes. So vote. It's really strange. The link is on the website. You click vote, it asks you to log in either through Google or through Facebook and registers. You don't actually go to another page to register anything. So I didn't think it worked the first time. So I tried it again, and then a little banner popped up and going, no, you can't vote twice for the same thing. So as soon as you hit that link, it tallies your vote. So please go and vote. That's one way to support local filmmaking. I'm glad I didn't buy film insurance this year. It was the first year in about 10 years I haven't had film insurance, and it was a good call. But mostly it's just we're taking this downtime to finish up projects. Like I said, finish up on the proof of concept, finish up working on the feature. And I've still got a web series from a number of years back that we lost our CG guy on, and we're going to start. I've got somebody that's able to come on board and do some stuff for that. So once the feature and the proof of concept are done. So it's really a great opportunity for us at SteamWorld to sort of get the bits and bobs that are floating in space kind of together and finished.
Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. That sounds like a really positive use of your time, you know? I mean, I know that Rasulia's song has been going for a while, although, you know, 2 years for a feature film is actually still a really short time to get that all done. So it sounds like that's going really well. Please,
well, the
please
thing
post
is,
the link.
Oh, sorry. The thing is with Rasulia, because it's a no budget film, you get people that sign on board to do something and then they fall off the wagon. And then you got to find somebody again when you're not paying people, which unfortunately this is a non-paid project. It's going to take its time. You know, we don't have to worry about all those Marvel special effects that takes them 2 years to do a movie. It's just a matter of finding talent that wants to commit and stay on board for the duration.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that is really exciting though, that it's that you're finally pulling those in and making that headway on it. That's really cool. It's been a long time coming. I'm excited to see it.
Well, now that we've got the color grading happening and that we're going to start posting stills and things from it. So, oh, and we do have that audio thing that we started, end of days thing. That's kind of on a back burner, but I was going to actually talk to you, Mike, about doing something for it. It's just a voice thing. So,
Sure.
but
Yeah, cool,
anyway.
cool.
That's,
Yeah,
and then again, that's all shot, that's all done remotely. Like
Wow.
everybody's sending stuff in for it, so.
yeah, you know, Danny, you're never short on projects that you're working on. You know, there's never you don't have a lot of dull moments.
Well, if I could just
please-
get them finished.
that's the hard part. Yeah, let me know about that. But also, I think everybody in our Facebook group would probably want to see your submission to the Road Festival and hopefully vote for it. So please post that in the group so that we can
It
get on
is-
there and vote for you.
It is posted.
is?
It is posted on the KW Film Network.
1 second. Bye, Gary. It's been great. Au revoir.
Everybody wave.
He may have already left. What a great guy.
Anyway,
yeah,
it is
so-
posted.
So it is posted, eh? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll leave through and comment on it because I do want to give you a vote for that. That's very cool.
Yeah.
How's the proof of concept that you? I remember that, and there was a tavern scene, and you had a bunch of action and stuff happening. It seemed very interesting.
We filmed the trailer and we filmed a scene because we wanted to show like a little bit of. So we filmed the scene we chose to film was a tavern fight. We had Nick Odson come on board to do the choreography for us, the fight choreo. We had 22 people involved in the shot with fighting and running and dying. So it was quite an undertaking. Took us an entire weekend. We were camping out at a coworker of mine's property out in the country they have. So he allowed us to camp out, and we'd rented a porta potty and we had campfires at night. And yeah, 22 actors involved in the tavern scene. Now, is it great cinema? No, but it was a hell of a lot of fun because again, you're working with people who aren't trained in fight choreography. So we had to scale the choreography to fit the level of the people who were fighting. Nick had us come to the studio a couple of times and just look at what people were doing, like have us run drills so he could see what the physical level of everybody was, so he could then choreograph to that. So, but some amazing actors, a lot of fun, a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, being out there in the bush having fires sounds really fun, and also like a great way to get in character for the time period of the piece. So that sounds really, really cool. You know, one scene with 22 actors fighting each other sounds like a trial by fire.
It was the most ambitious thing we've ever done, but yeah, it was really fabulous, and I made some really nice connections out of that. So people that I would work with again. So it's a win-win.
That sounds amazing. Well, great job, Danny. Congratulations on getting Rasulia closer and on the road mic submission and on getting the proof of concept closer. All really positive things. Anybody else have questions for Danny right now? Or
What is,
discussion?
what's the, where's the end product going for all of these projects?
Well, Road Mike, once we finish the challenge, we're going to start putting that on the festival circuit. I have put a couple of other films out previously on the festival circuit that did not too bad. Didn't win any major awards, but we won some technical awards, which are okay because to me, filmmaking is a technical thing. With Rasulia's Song, which is the feature, we're looking at putting that on something like Amazon Prime, like a streaming service where people can pay to download it. And the proof of concept, we're still working that out. We don't know. I just know I don't have the budget to make this movie. But I wanted to put together, like I said, the trailer and a scene so people get a concept of the kind of stuff we're looking at, get a feel of what it is. Like I said, we're almost finished the script, so we're putting together, looking at putting together a financial package as well as to what it cost us to do the trailer, so they know what kind of a budget we spent on. Like, nobody got paid, but we kept track of hours for people, for cast and crew. We got track of, you know, all of the materials used, the travel time, all the rentals. So we're gonna, you know, put that together and so people can see what we did and then go from there. So, but that one's kind of down the road somewhere.
I mean, ultimately, you know, we'll see how it goes, but all very exciting things. Danny, thank you. And thank you for continuing to never stop
Michael
doing
has a
the
question.
creation that you do. Yeah.
I was going to save this, but for Danny's proof of concept, there's she asked me to make 4 trailers for her trailer.
Oh, behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes, yeah.
Yeah.
2 of them are done. You can watch them. They're quite interesting. 2 of them are, I can get back at it now because we got interrupted. The library was closed down and I do my editing at the library. And they only got the one workstation up with Microsoft just this week. So hopefully I can get back there and finish up those 2 behind the scenes for you there, Danny.
Yeah.
It should be pretty good.
And we
Nice.
can
So
we can
that's,
post. Sorry, we can post the links for the 2 that are done to the KW network too, so people can see what's happening with it.
I think that would be very cool to see what you guys went through to do that. I would definitely be interested.
I think they're on. I think I put them on YouTube.
Yeah, we'll just put the YouTube links up on the KW network, and then people can take a look. Well, you get to see the costuming, you get to see a bit of the look of the film and some of the props and stuff. So
Yeah, and all the craziness that went into, you know, creating that. That sounds very cool. Definitely put those up there. Now, Michael, do we want to just roll into you here, or are you busy putting things on YouTube?
I got a few items. Doesn't matter if I go now or not. It doesn't matter.
Well, is that
Yeah, you want me to go? All right. I just got some background feedback there. Okay, first of all, we just reiteration with Denny. She did a really great job in putting those stay-at-home challenges done. And just wondering if since nobody's doing the 48-hour challenge in Toronto, we might want to look at doing some more stay-at-home challenges. We'll have to see. I know that you can get burnt out if you do it yourself. It takes team effort to put that stuff through. I've got some ideas that I'm hashing out. just because I want to try my hand at writing. I got a couple ideas for films that I want to hash out, but they're a little bit further than concept form, so it's not worth mentioning at this time. Been busy. Discovered the Robson Lang factory, and with a small group, me, Jeff, and two ladies I know, we just practicing different types of special effects, old school special effects, as in Vincent Price and the House on Haunted Hill. Like we did a kind of thing with at the factory. I thought it turned out pretty funny. The ones that we did. If anybody else is interested in doing something more,
I thought it was funny too.
certain parts were funnier than. If anybody's interested, I'm certainly interested in doing something more larger scale, but it's still that the virus social distancing thing is still a concern. But if people show interest, I'm all for it to do something more aggressive and dynamic. I've been watching on Actors Access. I don't know who's on Actors Access. You can watch meetings from casting directors on and other people on Actors Access for free. It's worth it. You can get on their list, and they a couple times a week they do something.
Is that a Facebook group?
Actors Access? It's a website.
Casting.
They coordinate stuff for actors.
Very good website.
Yeah, I'll weigh in here. Actors Access is one of the casting websites that a lot of the higher levels of casting in Toronto use to post jobs, and people can submit themselves to jobs, but can also it's agents on Actors Access that are submitting jobs. A lot of the commercials that you see, they're not the only one. There are others like Casting Workbook and Casting Networks, which is new, and a couple spots are starting to use them. If you're into acting and you want to start trying to push yourself to get harder auditions for bigger projects, it's not a bad idea to put yourself on Actors Access. If you get an agent, chances are they will have an Actors Access account for you, but they do also post workshops and stuff like that. So that is a good resource. There are also a bunch of Facebook groups. There's one run by Louis Beaumonder, who runs LB Studios out of Toronto, and he posts stuff. For a while he was doing a free series that he would just Facebook Live from LB Studios, and it was called Coffee with Louis. And if you go into his group, you can watch that stuff. So a lot of industry people were giving free content to help grow the knowledge of actors during the pandemic. So yeah, check out the Facebook groups, or if you want, you can make an Actors Access profile and check them out through that as well. But there are a lot of good resources out there.
I think you can watch the meetings for free, I think. And it's a small fee if you actually get onto the website. What is it, $50 a year or something like that?
And $2 submissions. Every time you audition, it's normally $2 to submit yourself, because they want to weed out the weak people who are really serious about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, heard that. Well,
And okay. Oh, we have to get back on. Maybe Marinas can say something to that. I don't know. I'm getting feedback there. Okay.
Yeah, we're getting a bit of feedback, so.
Okay. I've lost track of grant writing and City of Kitchener grant writing and what the meetings are for Kitchener and stuff. I think if somebody gets some information, we have to get back on top of that so we can at least make an effort to get grants for the different groups. I'm gonna try and get
Yeah,
some information.
actually, Michael, I'm glad you brought that up. My aunt's doing a grant writing workshop
Oh, great.
soon, so I'll post that in the group.
Great.
I took
yeah,
it.
well,
I took
exactly.
her online one. I guess it was a couple weeks ago or whatever it was. It was awesome. Absolutely awesome. I absolutely guarantee you will get something out of it.
Okay.
Agreed.
Okay.
Agreed.
Okay, that's it for me. I probably have a few more items. We covered a lot of stuff in the last few months. But next.
Yeah, cool. And Michael, you know, I really enjoyed the ghost thing that you made in the factory, and I hope you guys will continue making those fun things.
If anybody's interested, they can. We could do another one. And yeah, it's a creepy place. Oh my God, it's creepy.
Yeah, like there are probably actual ghosts. Like you guys were filming a thing of like you guys pretending to be ghosts, and there were real ghosts watching you, being like, "What are they doing? They're not ghosts. We're ghosts. What is this?" Oh, anyway, Michael, thank you. Yeah. I did want to say, you know, you brought up the Actors Access thing. There's also a group called Screenwriting University, and they also do free online classes every Friday. I think it's called like Free Class Friday. If anyone's interested in that, send me a message and I will forward them the email. And once you do one, then you're on their mailing list, and they send you all of them. And lots of really good content to grow your knowledge. Stephen, would you like to tell us what you've been up to? Because you're showing up on my screen.
I'm not sure, but can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me now? Hello?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm being heard or not.
Speak louder.
Okay, sorry.
Now.
I'm new to Zoom and I'm not using my own computer, so
What?
I couldn't
Sorry, what are you saying? What? Speak louder.
I don't know how to turn the volume up on this.
Oh, no, you're great. I can hear you fine.
I'm way too loud.
No,
No,
you're
you're
good,
just-
Stephen. You're
you're-
perfect.
We're just goofing with you.
I'm new to this, so well, most of the stuff this year I've been like everybody else, I think, doing a lot of writing. I actually started and have almost completed what's worked to be the longest script I've ever written. It's almost 120-page children's story. I've never read a children's script before. So I basically took my two daughters and my stepdaughters and used their personalities as my inspiration to write the story. And it's a kind of like a transport movie, like transport through time, but not through time, through space, sorry. It's more like a wormhole. And I've almost got that completed for the first script. And once I do that, then I might have to sit back and get it read out and try to figure out what I need to change. I did do a project with Michael recently. We did a music video back in Kincardine. We're at the home of Snowblind, but this time we were doing it outside and it was a hell of a lot warmer. So we just completed that last weekend, Mike?
Yeah, and you're right. It was a lot warmer.
And I also did the sound on Dan McLeod's new short film he's trying to pitch for a TV series. I don't know if everybody's seen that yet. He just posted it the other day and I shared it on Facebook. But I don't know if he shared it on KW yet. So that turned out pretty good. Most of my filming, of course, ideas for my movie I was going to start shooting in this spring, of course, like everybody else, got sidetracked and put on a shelf. So that never came to be. But I think I'm just keeping up with my screenwriting for right now. Now there are projects that start up and people need help. I think I have a lot of time in my schedule that I could probably help out. If anybody has anything they want to throw at me. And that's just about it for me right now. I do need some information on the grant writing because I'd like to try to see if there's any grant writing I'm out there that's directed towards children's content and not necessarily some of the stuff I've did in the past.
You know, Stephen, I am sure there is. You should come to my aunt's thing.
I think you're frozen, Mike.
Mike is frozen.
One eye open, one eye closed.
Let it go. Let it go, Mike. There we go.
But yeah, so yeah, that's really cool that you're working on the children's thing. You told me about that, and it sounds really exciting. Yeah.
It was definitely different. Like it's just a lot of thing I've written. Go ahead, Mike.
I didn't hear what you just said.
It was definitely different for me because I write mostly blood and gore, as most people. I had to click on this thing.
Yeah, no, you really do usually write very grim stuff.
No, you really write very stuff.
Oh.
Yeah. That's about it for me right now.
Yeah. Cool. So any questions for anyone else, from anyone else for Stephen right now? No? All right. So yeah.
I'm happy to see a change of pace in your writing. I'm excited to see how that comes out, your own children's story. I feel like you're going to have a lot of hints for adults in there. But, you know, either way, I'm really excited for your writing, man. I want to see that.
Yeah, I'm gonna second that. I think like the best characters come from truth, and the fact that you're using the personalities of both of your kids for this project, I think is really gonna go well. Personalities of both of your kids for this project, I think is really gonna go well. So who wants to go next? John? Oh, hello, Michael's mother.
Hey, Michael's mother.
John, do you wanna hop on board next, or anyone else who's raring to go?
Oh,
Here?
I'll go if you want me to.
Yeah, dude.
Sure. I'll make a few statements. First off, can everyone hear me good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I got a few statements to make. Stuff's been going on, and I got a kind of like a proposition, so that's a question. So lately, I'll say that COVID actually hasn't stopped me one bit when it comes to work, and this year has been my year. Actually, past 24 hours, I had 3 auditions, which is a record, and a lot of big stuff. I had a short film. It's coming in. It was in the Brooklyn Film Festival, overseas somewhere. And yeah, I got my feature film coming streaming platforms this November for Puppeteer and Executed Parody. And well, actually, yeah. So either way, yeah, I've been doing a lot of work. I kind of broke NDA, maybe. No. I put it away first, but some of you may know me. I don't fit the bill, but I had an audition for Superman, the teenage Clark Kent. So, I mean, that kind of made me feel a bit better about how things are going, you know, getting those kind of opportunities. But the thing I was going to ask is because recently I had something that come up. Now, normally I have my mother help me with my audition, or I help my father help me with my audition, or my aunt when it comes to reading with me. And lately, just recently, I had a very self-intimate audition, if you get what I mean, regarding some scenes. And you know, I had to figure out who to do that with. And luckily, I had a friend who was able to help me with, but that was a gamble. Now, I was thinking, because I know I'm not the only actor in here, and I asked the other day, I asked Marinas to use a studio. Sadly, it's closed for some tapes I wanted to do. Luckily, the KW Little Theater was able to help me out. But I was wanting to know, like, what some of us could do if we could. I don't know. I feel like not only for me, but I feel like I would really like help sometimes for getting readers for myself. But I feel like there's a lot of other actors, and I met some people who struggle with these same kind of like issues. You don't have a reader, or you can't read some things with some people. Of like, well, the goal when I make a lot of money, I'd want my own self-tape studio. Like if you've ever heard of Laughing Vikings from Toronto, they have their own self-tape studio, but they're a bit pricey. And I mean, for me, having to public transport there plus using their $60 service. I was wondering if there's somehow, some way, some of us could manage like for somehow of a self-tape studio. Not only like for a lot of actors, a lot of young actors, and I feel like a lot of like I've talked to kids my age who like want to get into this, but where do we go? We don't have any help to record our own stuff. Like our from self-tapes to recording monologues for building portfolio and such. And I don't know. I just want to know what you all thought about that. Like I want like I would offer myself as a reader for a lot of people because I just love to get in there and read, just act, right? And I don't know, I just want to know what you guys would think about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a really cool idea. I know that different people have different setups. For a while I would go to Taylor Martin's and she would be my reader and I would read for her and come there to read for her. I have a setup in my living room, and I, like you, I just frequently beg my parents and occasionally ask someone else if it's hard. But I mean, the space is hard, especially during the pandemic. But theoretically, we could have something going where, there's a nice room with good audio where we don't have to tell 30 people in the house to be quiet every time we want to record. And all of the local actors, I don't know, pitch in a rent or just make themselves available and we can come with masks and gloves so that we're pandemic safe. But like, we don't need a big space, right? Like just a small room with a blue curtain and some lights.
And a reader.
And yeah, but then we'd be each other's readers, it would be sort of a community readers group, I guess.
Even like a Facebook group, like something like that for people to come together and like, ask, I need someone here and there, because the KW Film Network can be filled with a lot of different projects where it might be hard to narrow down, right? And if it's a specific group.
Okay, you can chop up my food, I'll eat it here.
Have
I wanna
you
eat it while
considered
watching
doing
Big
it
Brother.
through Zoom?
I record with my phone, so I don't have any. I don't have any other computer. I had a Zoom audition the other day, and I found Zoom auditions. I've gotten used to it. But yeah, self tapes are a bit hard for that at times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I have camera, and I work 9 to 5 job Monday to Friday, but evenings and weekends, if you need somebody to come and shoot you, not literally, but with the camera,
I'd be grateful.
I'd be up for it.
Thank you.
Thankful. Unfortunately, I mean, I have the studio space downstairs where we were doing some improv workshops before things kind of went south, but I'd be really leery because my husband's not big on having people in the house.
Of course.
I'm a little bit more open to it because, well, hey, I shot a film 3 weekends ago, but we can definitely find a location. Even some outdoor locations are pretty quiet, depending on what you want to shoot. So if anybody, and this is not just for you, Sean, this is for anybody. If you want to shoot something, if you want to do a self-tape, if you need a reader, if you need anything like that, if it's an evening or a weekend, I'm pretty much available. So I have no problem coming out and taping you guys.
If you're looking for studio space, there is a a studio here in Cambridge, just literally down the street from where I live. Working Real Productions. I don't know if you know them.
I've heard of
Um,
them.
Okay. I worked there briefly for Buddy. Buddy Brennan is the gentleman who owns and operates the place. Now he just opened his own studio, like I said, down the street on Queen Street here in Hespeler, and he has space. I don't know what he would charge. I don't know anything, but you can give him get in touch with him. He's on Facebook, so you can either find him there or, like I said, it's Working Real Productions, and he has a website and contact information on the website.
Thank you so much.
You're very
That's
welcome.
really
Now,
good
like,
to
I
know.
haven't been to his new studio because I worked at his old studio when he had it and he closed it down, and it's long story short. But anyway, but his new studio is, he's got space for self-tape and all kinds of stuff like that. And like I said, I don't know what he charges, but it's worth a conversation.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's better than me having to haul all the couch out and having to find someone. Like, the last audition I had was very weird to do with my mother or my father. Like, it was very weird. It was very weird. So I had to find something, like, I got to find those
You
people.
may
who are-
even have other actors, access to some other actors locally, like in Cambridge, that are willing to do reads with you.
Awesome.
I'm
Awesome.
sure he does. He's definitely got a network of actors. Sean, where are you filming right now? Like, do you have a blue sheet in your living room, or?
Oh, I use the blank wall in my room. It's not the blankest. It has because I live in a small apartment, right? So there's a shelf by there and such, right? But I've been using a broom pole with tape for my phone as like a perfect stand and such. I'm very ghetto here because my friend Alex, who owns our equipment, has been busy with school, so he can't come over and use it and everything, right? But I don't know. Despite that, it has been working, but I've just been realizing I've been getting weirder and weirder roles lately. So I need other actors.
Yeah, that's definitely fair.
But-
I mean, I still think that if you post in the group, most of the time someone will see it, and if you can do it outside of 9 to 5, you can message Danny and she'll help you out as well. And I don't know, and if you buy a blue bed sheet, you could potentially throw that up on your wall. Apparently that's what the industry likes.
I would. It hasn't stopped me yet, but I'm also offering myself to other people as well. Like, if I love just to do this kind of stuff, if anybody needs a reader, I'm your guy. And yeah, I mean, I gotta say that, yeah. But yeah, I'm pretty much done here. I'll take that Working Real in. I'll look into them. But for my last comment here, I will say, because a bit of self-advertising, you guys do gotta check out Cup of Cheer. It's an Xmas rated comedy. I'm pretty sure it's coming to Crave. Really great team. It was wow, amazing, and yeah, I think you'll like it. The trailer right now doesn't advertise it the Red Band way it is yet, but you should all take a look. And yeah, also Instant Sean Vincent at Instagram if you like to see new works and such. I'm going to the KW Theater tomorrow to record some monologues, so I'll be starting my channel, The Monologue Man, finally, with proper equipment, proper lighting, all this stuff, and yeah, keeping myself busy. That's it. That's all. Thank you.
Love it, Sean. Love these bad, and I mean that as in good, obviously, these bad auditions you've been getting. Love this monologue channel that you're finally starting. It's a lot of exciting things. Also, the Cup of Cheer does look ridiculous. So I am excited to.
Absurd. It is absurd. Drinking hot sauce, defecating in a urinal. It was a weird role. So.
I also just love the way you phrase that, because to me that's such extremes. Drinking hot sauce, yeah, it's a dumb decision, but we've all done it. Defecating in urinals, not on the same level to me. To me, those are two very different
That
things.
is surprising, knowing the kind of work you do.
Yeah, I've never done a scene where I've been asked to defecate in a urinal. That's buckets, yes. I've defecated in a bucket on camera, but not a urinal.
Well, I didn't actually do it. I just had to make sure I was stressed enough. They don't want to clean that up, but so enough of that. Enough of that. Yeah, but what a weird one. What a weird role.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm definitely gonna check it out. I hope it does get to Crave because that's really cool.
I'm gonna try and get it playing at the Princess. I know one of the girls who work there, so I'll get that going.
All right.
All right.
Keep
Thank
us
you, guys.
posted, dude.
That's what I have to say, and I'm gonna hear what you guys have to say again. All right.
Cool, man. Congrats again on all that stuff. Who would like to go next?
I would like to ask Sean one question before I go.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to walking on ashes?
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna say this. Yes, hiatus, right? But I mean, that ain't well, Alex decided to go into school. Now, Alex's path isn't this entire film path like myself, so he had to take his priorities. And do I feel bad? Yes. But we have been working on it. Every other weekend we meet up, we think of new ideas, we whiteboard it, we bring stuff together, and it's a big project. We don't want to make it anything less than what our dreams were for it. And you know, we understand that it will take our time. Our time for sure. Yeah, it will take our time, and we need to work on it. We want to make it good. Yeah, it's on hiatus for a good while. That's all I have.
It's okay. I got projects like that too.
Right.
What am I doing? Well, I'm doing a lot of schooling right now. I'm at Conestoga College. Everything that's come back has been 80s. I'm doing really good. I'm taking TV production, exactly where I want to go. So I'm training to become a TV producer. The only project I was working on was Zoo in a Different Dimension. It was supposed to be done before I started school, and it never got done. I'm still waiting for some people. I can see one of them on the screen right now making funny faces. And it is going to be done. I mean, that's like a really cool project. Because it was supposed to be my last project before I went into college. I put everything I had into it, and it never got completed, unfortunately. It's like 90% done, just sitting on my computer. It's frustrating. I know everybody's got a project sometimes when you're like so close to being done and it's just not done. But besides that, the only thing I've been doing is helping Mike, who's over there. And whatever Mike's doing, I'm joining him, I'm helping him out. But after Zoo in a Different Dimension, I have nothing planned except for my schoolwork. And I'll have a lot more stuff after my school is done.
Congrats on all the schoolwork, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Congrats on doing a school program about what you actually want to do and doing really well on it. That's fantastic.
I'm happy. I mean, like, it's costing me a lot of money, so everything that comes back has to be good. I mean, I put sweat, tears. That's why all my other projects stopped. There's nothing going on except for Zoo in a Different Dimension, which is so close to being done that it can't be stopped. It has to be completed. Everyone's seen the amazing poster I have for it. That poster is wow. A friend of mine put that together, and it's going to be wow too. It's going to be the best of all my independent stuff I made before college. Unfortunately, it's somehow carried on after college. And that's my goal. Straight to television. That's where I want to go. That's what I'm training to do. Anybody have any questions for me?
What are they teaching you in television production? That sounds like a really cool program. What are they telling you so far?
Well, I'm doing lots of camera work. I'm doing a lot of editing. Believe it or not, they have me writing stuff too at a college level, which is a nightmare, but I'm still getting good grades on it. We were in the studio today, actually working on the actual production cameras and teaching us how all the different things. And I was basically working on the prompter. They can only allow us to work on so many things when we're in the studio because of Corona. You can work on this camera today, Jeff, and you can work on the prompter. And next time you're going to be working over here. Corona is really affecting my schooling, unfortunately. But we are working in this. We are working in a studio. We're learning what they do in a television studio, and it's what I want to do. It's exactly what I want to do. So I'm so happy I'm actually training to do what I want to do in life. I worked as a winemaker for 25 years. The truth is I only did it because it was a family-run business. Oh, wow, you're a winemaker. That's so cool. No, I hate it to bits. don't stop asking me what type of, I actually know, but I'm not going to answer you. What type of wine's good for this and what type of wine's good for that, and tell me all about this certain Brent's wine. No. Don't want to talk about that.
I mean, it was great.
And then, of
when
course,
you
it's a part in a movie.
What's that?
That's just, of course, a part of, you're playing a winemaker, Jeff. Okay, I can do that. But then I'm just acting.
Hey.
Then you're acting that you actually like what you do. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, though, that's really cool that you're training for this. And I think the stuff that you make when you come out of this on the other side is just going to be so good, man.
That's the idea. What I'm making now, and then what I make after in 2 years' time, I want what I'm making in 2 years' time to be 1 billion times better than the stuff I made before.
Jeffrey,
look at.
You should create a wine page. You're a winemaker. I'd like to see how you make your wines at some point. I would love to try one of your wines. You know.
Fine, for you, I will actually make some wine, Sean.
I'll buy it off you. You can price
cool.
me.
You're cool.
I'll support a connoisseur of wine, an artist, and I'd like to try some of that. Make a channel. I'd love to see how you make it.
You know, actually, Jeff, that's an interesting idea that Sean has. You could combine your existing knowledge of winemaking with your love of film and film yourself making wine.
I haven't made any wine in a while. I'm happy I'm out of it, but yes, I could start up again. My stock is running very low.
Just a thought. Ultimately, I think Sean and I just both really like wine way too much.
So do
Especially
I.
for that pirate guy. That pirate guy gave us some good one that one time.
Yeah, Mick Killian.
Yes. Oh my.
Great,
Wow.
great local musician.
I gotta have him in another one of my movies. He's so funny.
Great
Yeah,
guy.
he's a great dude.
Okay,
Yeah.
Merkabix, whenever you have time, I have stuff that you have to send me.
Yes.
I really want to get that done so I can say I have no projects going besides school.
That is fair, man. I will message you about that. Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm done.
Anybody have a question for Jeff and his beautiful schooling journey? Okay. Ella and Devin, do you guys want to say hi? And obviously we have our host, Martin, who
I like how he's in the
represents
middle.
Common Studio.
He's just watching
What's
us
that?
all from the middle. I like how Martin's in the middle, how he's just seeing us all from the middle here. Right in the
Yeah.
dead middle.
Devin, are you saying hi? Your microphone is on.
Yeah, I thought I would talk, but I waited until everybody else stopped. So before I kind of give you guys a little bit of background on what I'm working on, I kind of wanted to tell you why I'm here. So I am here to learn from you guys. I want to know the challenges that you guys are facing. I want to know what you love about the KW community, because I am the film liaison for the city of Cambridge. So I facilitate all of the film permits. And so I know what I know, and I don't know what I don't know. And we really don't get a lot from the independent community, right? And so I'm not here to narc. If you guys are talking about projects that don't have permits, I don't care. We want to connect with you guys to see how we can make things better.
I mean, that is really cool. Thank you, Devin. We would also probably be fascinated to hear about some of your experiences from the facilitating that side.
Yeah, it's crazy. The
I
stories
can
I could tell, but I mean, I want to hear what you guys have to say, because you guys have more of a pulse on what's happening locally than our office does.
I mean, I suspect that your office probably deals with a lot of the, like, you know, the higher level stuff, the Murdoch Mysteries level stuff. We, you know, most of our budgets come from, like, you know, I got lucky and I got paid $100 for a short film I did last month, so we now have $100 to make our short film this month. That's that's our average budget. So the
If we're
idea-
lucky.
yeah, that's that's the if we're lucky budget for a lot of us. So
Whatever
You
coins
know-
are in my pocket, that's the budget. See, the wallet
Yeah,
says we got 50 bucks.
a lot of our locations are, you know, so and so's house, or we ask this bar owner and he says yes. So you know, we don't encounter permits that much because the kind of location that would require us to have permits for would probably be above our budget range anyway.
Now, that being said, I've never actually gotten permits from the city of Cambridge, but I have gotten permits before for filming from the city of Kitchener and the city of Waterloo. They were really great at facilitating a no budget film. We even had the police ask if we needed people for crowd control at no cost, which was amazing. The only problem, though, is that at that point in time, we had film insurance. And so we were able to get the permits, even though we didn't have to pay for the location costs. And that is a big thing, I think, which is putting a crimp in a lot of independent films, is the cost of film insurance. And now with COVID, it's going to be insane because of all of the additional requirements. I was looking at the additional requirements for filming in Ontario on professional sets and things that they want. So it's really going to put a crimp in the independent filmmakers in terms of getting insurance so that they can get the permits to film. I mean, I know friends who have filmed with permits in Toronto at no cost because they had film insurance. I think that is something. I don't know if there's a simple way to work around that, to be able to get those locations. Film insurance companies, they used to have what they called the short shoot, where you could get it and it would be like a short period of time. But then they really don't like doing that. They really want you to have the yearly insurance, which becomes prohibitively expensive for somebody who's working on that $100 picture.
Yeah, I completely understand, because one of the challenges our office has is we have exorbitant fees. I realize that, but we will waive them for independent projects, again, so long as they've had that film insurance, because we need to do the CYA for the city as well. Now, I do know that the feds, didn't they announce a $50 million fund to help with the insurance issues that are being experienced in the film industry at the moment? I think that was last Friday. I haven't read into it too much.
I have to look into that because I haven't heard about that one.
Okay. I think was it being administered through Telefilm, maybe? Yeah.
Yeah, yes, it's I read the article, or I skimmed the article, because there was a lot of jargon in there that I'm like, I have no idea what you people are talking about. But it's through Telefilm Canada. And it is open to all levels, apparently, from micro budget, like $100 kind of things, to big, the bigger budget, like, 75,000 to 100,000 to 150,000. It just all depends. And there's like different levels of what you can apply for. And there were some exemptions, but I didn't get into that because it's just not something, that's not the stage that I'm personally at, so.
But yeah, so that's really why I'm here. I want to learn from you guys, learn what is good about our communities and what we can do better to support and grow our local talent.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that really is wonderful, Devin. Thank you. I mean, I think one of the things is that we've got a real divide between, between the Murdoch Mysteries and the commercial shoots and the micro budget indie. We've got, like, they're just worlds apart, and it would be really interesting to start trying to blur the edges between them a little bit and, you know, have, I don't know. I mean, maybe the larger budgets have room for some of the local indie people who could come in PA and get some experience, or maybe, you know, maybe the larger budget productions could have some leftover, or like sponsor, you know, if they're using the location that day, then they just add an extra day on their insurance and allow a lower budget production to come in and shoot something there the next day, or something like that. Because we definitely have, like, you know, we have two film industries. We have Murdoch Mysteries, and we have all of us over here scraping together to try to, you know, make something sort of watchable. And it feels like there's a big divide between. So you guys are in a unique position to maybe help us talk about bridging that divide and elevating the indie level stuff a little bit through interacting with the higher level stuff.
It's a nice
So
thought, Mike. Sorry, it's a nice thought, Mike, but bottom line is big productions are in it for, it's a business. And if they're not getting any value, then they're less likely to want to contribute.
That's absolutely true. Yeah, absolutely. But if, say, the film permits office here in Cambridge, and maybe in Kitchener and Waterloo as well, offered extra incentives to the bigger budget projects like Murdoch Mysteries and Handmaid's Tale and all of the ones that come in to do these, offer them an extra incentive to say, look, you know, as Mike said, like, you know, maybe have somebody PA on one of the bigger projects, or offer, if you have, you know, an umbrella in a smaller production under their insurance for you know, maybe 4 hours to get some 4 hours of shoot done, something like that. I mean, you know, it's one hand washing the other. Yeah, you're right. Let's offer them some value then.
Now, Cambridge, I think, is a little different than KW. Cambridge attracts a lot more film stuff than KW does. And we've been fighting in KW for a long time to bring industry into big budget industry into Kitchener, Waterloo. For some reason, we aren't attracting that industry the same way that Cambridge is. And I don't know if it's just Cambridge has a better office that you work at, Devin, like that liaison, you know, between the community, or it just is more interested in fostering film, because we have a lot to offer in KW, but they don't, the government itself doesn't seem to be interested in attracting that kind of stuff here.
And I mean, and I think part of that is obviously Devin. She's fantastic. Part of that is also, I think, the beautiful buildings that they have in Cambridge. I know that one of our people, Dave Mansell, has been trying really hard to get the region of Waterloo to invest in a great big professional level soundstage to bring bigger film to Kitchener. And he's been grinding away at that goal for a really long time, with bits of success here and bits of not success there. And he found some, Daniel, I need this. Come on now. Sorry, my son turned the light off on me. So he's been working on that for a long time, and that hasn't been created yet.
So throughout the pandemic, actually, it's been really great for our office, because we've been working with our counterparts in Kitchener and Waterloo, trying to have kind of a cohesive process across the entire region. Because we have so many different looks. Waterloo can attract things that I can't attract. I can attract things that Kitchener can't attract. But if we all work together, I think we really have something special here. The challenge with Kitchener and Waterloo, I'm sorry, is you're 9 extra minutes away from Toronto. And apparently that is huge for the larger projects. That's what I'm told all the time. Even Guelph, because Guelph isn't like right on the 401, they lose out projects to me because I'm right there. they can see, oh yeah, Cambridge is right on the 401, so I'm going to go there instead of Guelph, even though Guelph is closer.
Yeah, it's crazy, absolutely crazy.
Now, one of the things that my office was trying to do kind of pre-COVID is we were trying to kind of rob from Peter to pay for Paul. So we were trying to charge the larger companies as much as we could. And I was trying to get my council to approve a fund for the independent projects so we could kind of support and grow our local infrastructure. Unfortunately, then we had COVID and everything is kind of dropped off. That is my ultimate goal, because we're only as good as what we can support locally. And I really want to grow the people we have here and not just be a pretty backdrop for handmaids.
And now's
Yeah,
the
I
best
think
time to be thinking about those kind of things, because it's a little bit of a breather. So it's a good time to sit down with the 3 cities and the whole region, and then even Guelph. I mean, we're all nearby. We all face the same things. And if we work together, it could be a really interesting plan.
Yep. So one of the other things we've been trying to do throughout this pandemic is Ontario Creates is finally taking notice of Southwestern Ontario, which I think is fabulous. And we just need to work together a little more to capitalize on that. So the Provincial Film Office, they're actually the ones who put together the scouting packages for all the international projects, and they're the ones who pitch the communities. And all they ever pitch is the GTHA. So we've got, everybody knows that, right? So there's actually a Southwestern Ontario Film Alliance that apparently has just started up out of Stratford. And they're trying to lobby Ontario Creates to work on incentivizing the rest of Southwestern Ontario. So if that can happen, that's when we can really start seeing things like sound stages here, not only in Cambridge, but elsewhere in the region. You know, obviously I'd like to see it in Cambridge because it's Cambridge, but you know, what's good for anyone in the region is good for all of the region.
So maybe one of the so maybe one of the things that needs to be looked at is, instead of having a Kitchener film group, a Waterloo film office, a Cambridge film office, a Guelph film office, maybe just finding, or I mean, I don't think the region itself has a film office. It's something that communities have. Maybe the answer is putting it all together into one body, so that we get a representation for the entire group, putting together the resources that we have, package it all up nicely, put a bow on it, and put it out there.
I think that's a really good idea.
And that's some of the discussions we've been having. Unfortunately, nobody wants to put that forward, especially to their councils, especially Cambridge, when we're the ones seeing the success right now. I don't think my council would be like, hey, yeah, we totally should have the regional office. I think they'd be more like, well, we're fine by ourselves. So it's packaging it that way. And it's, like I said, it's a conversation we've been having at the municipal level, because I think it's what's best for the region. But if anybody told my councillors I said that, I would deny it at this point.
Personally, I find the big disconnect is that people are looking for, well, it seems to me from the news that people are looking for content, yet there's all sorts of content out there, and we're looking for dissemination. And we want to put our stuff out there, and the only real venue we have is YouTube. So I mean, it's if we get I don't know, just
kind of
coordinate something.
All of our municipal offices getting together and saying, well, how can we promote you guys? Right? How can we support and how can we grow? Because we don't know. You know, that's why I'm here. So I can learn what we can do to kind of promote the awesome things that are happening here.
Well, thank you very much, Devin. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Devin, I mean, I think that's fantastic, first of all, and thank you very much for pushing something that we didn't even know you were pushing, but is ultimately, to help out people like us. Really appreciate that. I mean, if there's anything that can be done on an indie level, like we could, these meetings are probably going to start happening again on the first Thursday-ish of every month. It depends on who's available when. I think we would all love to open them up to Cambridge and Guelph filmmakers, and bring more people in and start those discussions at least on an indie level about how to get all of our work together. I mean, we do have Daniel McLeod does something called Kitchener Waterloo Film Festival. So we do have one little film festival that is sort of like that already for dissemination. That's it, and that didn't happen.
River Film Festival, Mike.
We also have Blood in the Snow that happens around here.
Yeah.
Blood in the Snow is Toronto, but they did a tour where they did a bunch of stop-offs.
Excuse my ignorance. Sorry.
We did have the Blood in the Snow stop-off.
I didn't. Excuse me for that. Sorry.
No, that's all right. It was great. My show was a Working Class Vampire. I had a great time.
It was awesome.
You have Grand River Film Festival, but I'm not sure how that benefits local filmmakers.
I actually had a conversation. I actually had a conversation a number of years back with some of the people from the Grand River Film Festival, and about opening up and doing a track of just local independent film. Like not for prizes, not for anything, but just as a venue to show what the local filmmakers are doing, and it pretty much got shot down.
Wow.
They're very, after speaking with them, I got the impression that they were very high-minded about what they were doing. And independent film is just not at the same level as what they were showing. So
I had one encounter with some folks from there, and while there were some very nice folks, I found the attitude a bit elitist as well.
Yeah.
We actually pitched the same thing. How about we have more of a local focus, and they don't talk to us anymore. So,
yeah, I think they perceive themselves as a really big, high quality film festival, and anything else just didn't work.
I got the impression they thought of themselves as an offshoot of TIFF.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, I see myself as an offshoot of TIFF. I think that's just.
I'm going to have to disappear for a couple minutes. Hopefully you guys are all still be here when I reappear.
Oh, okay, Jeff.
We should still be here, Jeff. Yeah, so I mean, all of this is really interesting, and I think it's conversations we want to be having. And there was a little while back where Mike Heitman over there was putting together our stuff that was child friendly, so not a lot of mine, but putting together our stuff to give to the KPL, so that before the KPL did their family movie screenings, they could show a cute, fun local thing first. So we've had little initiatives like that. There was a while where we were doing it only lasted for 6 months, but we did 6 once a month monthly screenings of our own stuff, and it was pretty cool. Mostly it was us coming out to watch each other's things that we were already watching anyway or had been part of. But we did that for a while. We worked with a local brewery, so we've talked about these things. We've tried to do them in a little bit. But knowing that you're on board with this, Devin, is really exciting, because that is a heavier hitter in our corner than we've had before. I mean, to be fair, Sylvia DiDonato from the Kitchener Film Office was great and really wanted to help us out, and we were starting to talk about that. And then I believe she ended up retiring, and and that was that. So Yeah, so it's really exciting to us that you're talking about this. We're definitely on board. And who knows? Maybe CTV News, Kitchener, or maybe the Waterloo Chronicle or the Region of Waterloo Record or whatever wants to. They have a website now. They could do a little like local films. I don't know, but there are definitely things. There are definitely possible solutions that we could talk about, and I think it's really exciting.
About what year is this? 3 years ago, yeah, I tried to get a group similar to the KW Film Networking group. I tried to get one started here in Cambridge through the local library. Yeah, that sank like a lead balloon. I got no support, no help, no advertising, no nothing. And I said, look, I'll do all of it. I'll get people to come in, I'll present ideas, I'll, exactly this kind of round table. And I got nothing, absolutely nothing, no support at all whatsoever. So it was like, well, why am I wasting my time? And I wish I had known about you guys sooner, because then at least this is a place for me to connect.
Yeah.
But, Cambridge, and it's funny because Devin, you'll understand. We have all these big Hollywood productions come in, like I said, like Murdoch Mysteries, and Handmaid's Tale, and other various big budget movies and television shows and stuff, and they all come in and they use and that's great, brings revenue into the city, and that's awesome. But then they pack up their stuff and they go away, and there's nothing in Cambridge. I mean, I'm 55 freaking years old, and this is the first film community I've ever been able to connect with, ever in this area. And that just burns my butt so hard.
Yeah.
Well, I think, okay, go ahead, Devin. Sorry.
I was just going to say, a few years ago, I had this thought, why don't we get something together, some type of resource for the people we have locally? And I tried to find people, and I could find nothing. Well, now we're connected. I'm following you on Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay, I think the underlying problem of it is we as filmmakers are not taken serious within the community. We're small little low budget, no budget filmmakers. We go out on the weekend and we shoot a movie. We may enter it in some festivals, or we put it up on YouTube. If we're lucky, we get it screened with a bunch of other little independent films, but we're not taken seriously as filmmakers. And I think that is part of the stigma that comes with being a low, no budget filmmaker. I mean, my coworkers, they go, "Oh, you make movies? That's cute." When I screened the first film I ever did 10 years ago, I had a bunch of friends, and all the people that were in the movie, they all came to watch it. And at the end, the number one comment I got was like, "Oh, wow, it was like a real movie." And I said, "What do you mean by that?" They went, "Well, you had costumes and you had props and you had music." And I go, "Well, what did you think I was doing when I said I was making a movie?" And they said, "Well, we didn't expect you to actually make like a movie." So I think there's a stigma associated with being this kind of thing. And I think that's why community services, why other resources that may be available to us hold back, because we're not really filmmakers the way that they perceive filmmakers. We're just people who do this because we have a passion for doing it. It's a hobby. It's not a real business. And I think that until we get past that, we're not going to get the supports that we need.
Danny, do you think that maybe part of that is because of the way the Canadian film industry itself is structured? It's not structured like Hollywood. We're structured differently. And so people don't take Canadian made film seriously at all. Do you think maybe that's part of it?
I don't think it has anything to do whether it's Canadian film or American film. I think it's just the fact that because I've spoken with filmmakers in the US, I've spoken with other filmmakers in other forums that find the same thing, that find the same struggle in whatever country they're in. As a low budget filmmaker, they're not considered serious filmmakers because they don't have the money to put in the budgets. But if you look at some of the films that these people are churning out, they're amazing stories. They're original stories. You're seeing something from a new perspective. They're taking subjects that you can't do on network television or mainstream theaters, and they're making movies about this. It's an extremely creative group of people, but yet we're not considered in some way legitimate.
Yeah.
Because we don't have that clout behind us.
Yeah.
If we could get the budget, oh my goodness. You know, when I see some of the budgets on these high films and what they're producing, I shake my
Starting the video again.
Okay,
Well,
now,
and
a couple of years ago, at one of the early KW Film Network meetings, I had put forward a proposal that instead of all of us spending our money and our resources on our little films, why don't we get together and pick a project and all of us work on it? Put out all of our resources into one project. So we've got not one person trying to make a film, but we got 50 people trying to make a film.
May I give a
And
suggestion?
maybe,
Sorry.
can I finish? So that maybe
Sorry,
once we get that done, we are now at another level.
Yeah.
If I would, I know a lot, like what you're saying of we do need that resource for a lot of filmmakers, but a lot of people do have their different stories, and I feel like some people may not want to work on a certain story and such, but what if there was the resources for it, like a proper, like the proper equipment that was more, like I know the Commons right now has, well, not anymore because it's closed, but like I don't know how to explain it. Never mind.
They have Lighthouse that rents out equipment at fairly reasonable prices.
And Guelph has Ed Video, I think.
Yeah,
Yes.
Guelph has Ed
Yes.
Video.
They're very good, yes.
The problem with that, Sean, is, and I've come across this, there are some people in the KW group that every time they have a project, they have 30 people come out of the woodwork to help and support them. There are other people like myself. If I post that I'm looking for actors, if I post that I'm looking for crew, I get crickets. Is it because I'm a worse filmmaker than somebody else? Is it because my movies aren't as good as somebody else's movies? It's because, like everything, things are in cliques. Whether we like to admit it or not, any group has its cliques, and you get your people who are always working together, and you get your people who are on the outside. I stepped away from the KW Film Network for over a year because I felt like I was getting nothing, no support, no assistance. And I think that's an ongoing issue with this whole independent film thing, because I don't have necessarily the clout that some of the other people in the KW Film Network have. Some of them have had films that have gone on to win awards. They have their laurel leaves. They have a following. I don't have that. I'm not at that point in my career, but that doesn't mean I don't tell good stories. But because I'm at that point in my career, I don't get the supports that I need. And I think that's one of the issues that comes with us being independent filmmakers. Until you have the cred, it's a struggle. It's a constant struggle to make movies.
Until you have the cred, you can't get the cred.
There's one or two.
You can't get the job if you don't have experience, and you don't get experience if you don't have the job.
You betcha. Yep. And if you're not paying people, they're going to go, well, maybe not. And that's another big part of it as well. So.
Well, yeah, there's one or two groups that get funding and it's scale, right? They get 20 people together and they work together, and they almost shun us. They don't offer help. But if they ask for help, I'm there right away. But sadly, it doesn't work the other way around. But.
No, you're very true.
And that's the thing is, I've helped out people. I've worked on Kitchener Sink. I've worked on other projects that have gone on to television and that. And I have had none of those people come back and help me. Not a one.
Wow. Yes, Ella?
I actually have a comment about it because I always wanted to be a part of anything. And I actually texted you, then Danny, and you said that you will answer me, and then I answer you, but you never get me back. And I wanted also, because you only one that I
Sorry.
know, and you say that you feel that you like nobody want to work with me, but the same way I feel. Like
Which project was it about?
I don't know
what
what
project.
it was in the May, so it was in the May. So you say that you have some ideas and you're gonna get back to me. So I don't know what it was
Yeah,
about.
no, I haven't gotten back to anybody about that because that got put on hold. If it was back in May,
Yeah,
we were
and
waiting to see what this COVID thing happened. So
yeah,
I have a
because you
list
told
of
me I will
people.
definitely contact you, and you
And I
didn't.
will, because I have a list of people, but that project got put on hold. Sorry, I should have sent you and told you that project was on hold.
It would be really
Because-
nice because the
Yeah.
only one who I know, and you mostly like you, Michael, and few people, because I don't know many people there. And I
No.
also have, I'm not living anymore in Kitchener.
Okay, but that was a project that we were looking at doing because we were hoping that COVID would have been worked out by May for sure, because, you know,
And
don't
also
laugh,
about,
Jeff. Anyway,
and,
but a lot of that project got put on hold, but I still have everybody's contact that when we start that project up again, I will contact those people. And I apologize that I didn't, I apologize.
and
I
also
didn't
about,
let you know that it was delayed.
yeah, and also about this, I remember isolation, like that you record yourself. I was up to that project too, but you said that you already have enough people for that. So I always up
Yeah.
to everything on the, because I'm always reading that what they have on the website.
Well, you worked with us on that one film, Mr. Weir, right?
Yes,
Yeah, that
even
was a
like,
lot of fun.
Yeah, it was
How many
actually. So
48-hour Toronto challenge we did.
it was amazing, and I was so grateful. I'm still grateful for you for that chance, honestly, because it's not just that you see yourself on the TV, but you actually work in the team. Because I don't have any family right now. Like I don't have any family in Canada, so if not, my fiance would be totally alone. Because I
So
realized
where-
that this COVID showed me that I actually not in anybody's bubble. I'm actually alone.
Where are you
so-
now? You're not in Kitchener. Where are you?
No, I'm in St. Mary's. I'm not so far though.
Oh,
I'm
St.
40
Mary's. Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
No, a lot of things that we were planning kind of got pushed aside. And again, I
understand.
apologize for not letting you know that it got pushed aside. I just have lists of people for projects so that when we start up again, it'll be like, oh, okay, this person, this person, this person. Let me see if they're still available.
Because I kind of give up on that. I was like, okay, actually nobody needs me in Kitchener, so I'm just leaving. And so what I'm doing on my own right now, I'm just doing more editing because I like to record videos also. So I'm practicing because I even have this huge light. So
Oh,
I have
yeah.
green screen. My fiance helped me to set up my computer because I couldn't use any like Adobe Premiere Pro or anything because it was all the time breaking because it was so weak. Right now I'm
Yeah.
testing because we just moved out in a new place and we didn't have internet for 3 months. Can you imagine? We don't have even internet. So we just got internet last week. So this like last 3 months was so challenging because my family is there. You try to find a way to talk to them. So I was going to town hall to actually catch up the internet to see what's going on and also to use this to check KW filmmaker page. So it was so much cool stuff happening and I don't know, life is so interesting adventure. That's what I can say. And I met so interesting people too, and I have so much stories in me, and I try to write, and because I know English is not my first language, it's my third language or fourth, so I still want to learn and to speak stories, so you would help me to make them alive. Because in my head, I can imagine everything, but sometimes when I try to speak it up, and it's not easy. But I'm practicing on TikTok videos, so I like to do fun stuff, especially right now. You need to cheer yourself up all the time. Now it's gonna be tomorrow.
Yeah.
So yeah, so lots of stuff
Well,
going
good.
on.
Good for
And I
you.
miss
Good
you
for
all
yourself.
guys,
Good.
and and I miss you people.
Yeah, I found my text. I found my text to you.
Yeah, it was May 9th. It's actually it was a Victory Day in my country. Like it's Remembrance Day. Actually.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it was
Yeah, May 9th for me.
yeah. Yeah, no,
So-
it got canceled because of the COVID and we haven't gotten back to it. So
Yeah, because when I see the page, I always check this like filmmaking page, and it's never, I never can feed the description of the person. Like I never can feed.
are
I
you
was like,
on
it's not about me. I cannot, like, it's not me. I have different skin. I am different age.
are you on well, talk to me about that. I'm a fat old woman. Try getting a role as a fat old woman. Nobody wants to hire you. They look, we're looking for a grandmotherly type, 40 to 50 years old. What? Grandmother, 40 to 50 years old? How old are you? Oh, I'm 19. Well, of course, 40 to 50 is old when you're 19,
Yeah.
But
I know.
are you on my SteamWorld page, Facebook page?
I'm not sure about that.
I'll check because I post a lot of times for myself. See, for my
Oh,
when
I
I post for auditions, and this is just in general, I don't look for unless it's a very specific character. I'm open to everybody. I'm open
yeah.
to male, female, black, white, yellow, orange. I don't care. Whatever gender you identify with, I don't care. For me, the important thing is finding the right person for the role.
Yeah.
Not being so strictly bound that you have to be between. I read an audition notice that once said you have to have long blonde hair and look good in a pair of size 12 jeans. And I asked the person who wrote the audition notice, what if the person coming in blows your socks off, but they wear a size 14 jeans? And they're like, it doesn't matter. And I'm like, then you're limiting yourself. You're not getting the best
Exactly.
actor for the role. But
Yeah.
it's a struggle. It is. I've
Yeah.
wanted to get back into acting for years, and even locally, I can't get into anything because I don't fit the picture of what people are looking for locally.
Okay, so maybe we need to create picture for people who actually they don't fit anywhere. So
That's us.
yeah, unfeasible.
You were fabulous in Mr. Weir. You were so funny, and you brought a really nice bit of humor to the story, which was a pretty dark story, but
Yeah.
you were great.
Thank you.
You still have the long hair?
Yeah, it's still long. It's actually growing. Yeah. Yeah, actually I was Rapunzel for kids. I was invited in one huge event, it was before COVID, and was so many kids hugged me. I was Rapunzel. So. But I'm actually start doing more exercising to see what's gonna be, because when you don't have internet, you actually start do something different, read more books, start do exercise, new habits. I try to actually survive and stay sane while you don't really have talk with anybody except your cat, because my fiance at work, so you need to stay.
Yeah, Ella, I don't know how you survived without internet. That is just mind blowing.
And I'm still smiling. Maybe I'm crazy, I don't know. That's why I'm smiling.
You are amazing. I would be dead. I would have killed myself.
You will not.
You
You
are-
think so? No. You would see sun, you would see grass. You're like, oh my God, it's actually so beautiful around me. Oh my God. Actually, it was so pretty. I did pictures with all this water drops on the grass. I was just hunting them because my fiance gave me lots of lenses that I can use for different purposes, and this is amazing. So I actually trying to do my YouTube channel, because like if you don't have anybody, you still need to practice. So my best person I talk to, it's my camera and cat. So like you say, you have like, oh, my father, like, yeah, my father, my mom, my cat. so Be grateful if you have
So-
somebody to talk to, because I don't.
Here's a thought.
Ella, thank you for putting us into perspective that way. That is beautiful.
Yeah.
So here's
You're
a thought.
blessed.
Here's a thought. Why don't we do a remote 48-hour challenge just on our own?
Yes.
Janet, you said you've been writing. Do you have a short film script that we could just look at and just do remotely?
I might have something that, well, I might have something outlined, not written yet, but definitely willing to develop, absolutely. It doesn't usually take me long
Only-
to bang something out.
We don't need a lot of actors, 3-4 actors maximum. I edit, you know, if we have somebody who does sound.
I have one thing right now, and it's called the white box test, and it's written. It's very short. It's mostly three actors, 2 actual people, and one voice actor. And essentially it's guy wakes up in the morning, goes downstairs, puts on the coffee, knock comes at the door. And he's like, goes to the door, some very chipper and very cheerful delivery driver hands him a package and says, "Here you go, sir, thank you very much." And then he's gone. So he takes the package back inside and he's like, "What the heck is this?" Gets it open, and inside the box is an envelope with a bunch of pictures, photographs. But he has that condition where you can't recognize people's faces. So there's a speaker in the box, and it comes out of the box and it tells him, "Hello, Mr. So-and-so, you've been chosen to take a test, you and 13 other people. If you take the test, if you choose not to take the test, that's fine. Nothing happens. But if you take the test and you pass the test, then you win all this money of your dreams. You can go live wherever you want. If you fail the test, then every single person that's taking the test at the same time as you dies." So he has to match. It's a set of 12 matching pictures. He has to match the pictures. But of course, he looks at each picture and he can't recognize the faces. And he's only got 12 minutes to do it in. He gets interrupted at one point. Neighbor comes over, and she's his very cheery, chipper neighbor, wants to drop off a cake. And he's like, "Yeah, I don't have time for this. Thanks very much," and slams the door in her face, goes back in. In the end, he finishes the test. He gets through the test. He finishes, he thinks, "Great, I've succeeded." And all of a sudden he hears a scream from down the street, really loud, and then mist comes out of the box and he dies because one person failed the test.
Kinda
So it
cool
requires,
concept.
like I said, 4 actors.
I mean, and this is something that's easy enough that can be pretty much done in isolation, right?
Yeah, for most of it, he's by himself. He doesn't really need to even interact with the person, just you show the person from the doorway. That's it.
I mean, geez,
the-
in one of the isolation films that I did with Mike H, I stabbed him, I shot him, I poisoned him, I killed him with
Oh my God.
spiders, all in isolation.
Well done.
What
May-
if
may
it
I
was a
suggest
she and it was played by Ella?
May I
Absolutely.
suggest
We
something?
can gender flip it. I
Yeah,
don't care.
Sean's got his hand up.
Yes, Sean?
So I was gonna say, because I have noticed, because I've seen lots of big, casting notice where there's big shows with the backgrounds and all this, and they're still having people on there. Bars are open, stores are open, and such. If you were to, because they have many resources online for the COVID safety protocols. Unless it's your own fear of working right now within this, I feel like if you were able to get those protocols under your belt and you were to submit those to your crew, you would be able to work in person.
Oh, no, it's absolutely. The film we did was all in person, and we just used the protocols to how we filmed it. That's all. And it was an in-person shooting, but I know some people have some issues with it. So I'm just suggesting isolation might be one of the things that we can do while we're all sort of sitting here trying to figure things out.
I feel for great practice and storytelling, that would be a great resource. But I will say, from a viewer's point of view, and I will be honest, I sometimes find it hard to watch some of these isolated films and Zoom films because it is a bit distracting knowing that it is Zoom, and it brings me out of the fact that it's a film. And
I'm not talking about shooting it on Zoom. I'm talking about actually shooting it and then sending that footage to the editor.
as long as everyone has the same equipment, because not everybody has the same camera or the lenses or audio equipment. It can really deter your production.
Yeah, this is true.
Well, I can get a copy of the script to you, Danny, if you want.
Yeah. I mean, it's an idea, right? I mean, I don't even care if we get together and shoot it. As long as people are wearing masks and we have hand sanitizer on site. I'm at my age, I'm pretty much going to go with the fact that I've ingested so much dirt over my life that I've got some kind of immunity.
We all did.
Yeah, and I mean the
I
other
like dirt.
thing, I put a lot of dirt in my mouth as well, literally and metaphorically. The other thing is that, you know, if people's cameras don't match, but they're each doing their own sort of scenes, that can still work, you know? Maybe my footage will have a different look from someone else's footage, but if we only ever see me in my house and my footage and them in their house and their footage, then that works. That can work because it's a different scene, it's a different zone. You can also do a lot.
That's one of the reasons the Once Upon a Time fairy tale isolation challenge we did worked, because everybody was in their little globes. Did you actually see it, Mike? The fairy tale thing we did? But everybody was in their little globes, so it didn't matter what the backgrounds for people were, or if they had the same quality of film, or, you know. The other thing, you know, it's like most cameras today shoot pretty good video. Even most most phones today shoot pretty good video.
It takes a bit of coaching for the actor if they haven't done.
Mike Heitman keeps waving his hand like he wants to say something.
Oh yeah, Mike.
Sorry.
Mike, you're muted. You're on mute.
Probably why.
I'm like, what?
Okay, Danny. First of all, I wonder if I was the one that posted your movie to YouTube, because I've got a couple messages. If you want wider dissemination on YouTube, just pay them a little bit of money and they'll disseminate it. You didn't post that film on YouTube, did you?
Which film?
Some of those messages are scams. Not all, but some of them are scams.
The fairy tale thing?
Yeah.
No, the fairy tale thing I have on Vimeo. I have almost everything on Vimeo.
Well, I posted that on YouTube for you.
Oh, okay.
And they've come back a couple of times saying this is a great film and we'll disseminate it further. I thought you probably did it. So I could actually pay to have a further dissemination on it.
No, I generally, if I don't have to post on YouTube, I post on Vimeo, because YouTube has.
I posted it on YouTube then.
Well, Vimeo has better compression for films, for replaying films. I find YouTube compresses the films too much and you lose quality.
Yeah,
now, I probably should post on YouTube because more people will see it than on Vimeo, but I'm a bit of a snob that way.
Janet, as far as your film goes, have you ever seen The Twilight Zone Button? Because
I don't think I've seen that episode, no.
Because your story sounds awful lot like that.
Well, I do. I am a big fan of The Twilight Zone, but I've never seen that episode, no.
Yeah, it was actually one of my favorites, but it's very similar. So you might want to take a look at it.
Okay.
But, I mean, you know, there's an option. So, I mean, you know, because of the pandemic, doesn't mean that we still can't make movies. Doesn't mean we have to focus on writing or we have to focus on, you know, something else. We can still be creative and still do things.
Yeah.
If people's cameras don't match.
Where is that background sound coming from?
Somebody has a mic on and somebody's talking in the background where their mic is on.
I don't know. My place is quiet and I've got my mic on.
It might be Stephen. His has been
Oh, maybe.
Is
not
Stephen's-
muted, and he
Yeah.
also is oddly framed, and it sounds a bit like he sounded when he was talking. But I don't know how
Could
to tell him.
You should hear
I
you,
can
maybe.
mute him, actually.
There we go.
Anyway, I'm gonna have to bug off because I have stuff that has to be done tonight still. I want to say
Okay.
thank you, Mike, for hosting this. And I want to say thank you for being able to connect with people. And hopefully we'll be able to do this next month again.
Yep.
So I'm
concur.
going to say adios.
Hey, Danny.
Nice to meet you, Danny. Good night.
Yeah,
Night.
thank you so much. It was nice to see all of you and meet new
Yeah,
faces.
I'll stay in closer contact. Listen, if even the
And
films that
Ella-
I'll put it out. Maybe if we can get a bigger group and just be careful or something, we can make some fun films for sure.
And Ella, we will definitely work together on some things.
Sure, I'm
I
sure
haven't
it's
forgotten.
really cool
I
stuff.
haven't forgotten you. You are on my list. There's a lot of people on my list.
At least it's good to remember that you remember about me. I mean, good to know that. Thank you so much.
You're a good singer. I wanted to get you to do some singing and some background music as well.
I actually post some covers that on the YouTube, and I post the funny video about long hair too. Finally, so, but I
Okay,
didn't.
well,
Maybe I'll share. I'm just shy, so I don't share.
okay, well, send me an email. I think I just sent you one as well, but I just want to reconnect with you.
Okay, yeah, I answered you already a long time ago. Martin, hi, nice to see you too.
Good to see you, Marinas. How's the new set? How's the new apartment?
Looks
Nice to
nice.
see you too, Ella. My
Yeah.
apartment is great, but on May 17th, March 17th, I went to work, came home, and I haven't been out of here for 6+ months, or hardly ever.
And you don't have a
Uh,
pussycat now either.
No pussycat. I had to give her up.
What is that thing
Oh.
above your head there? It's an
This?
ornament? No. It's right behind you there. What is that? It's
Plate on the wall.
There's a plate and it says Horizon Nederland.
oh,
It's
there's
a
the
picture
plate,
sold.
and then
If you
there's
see a picture, you'll see a big horse stamping on a flag with a swastika on it, because it was a
Good.
celebration of defeating the Germans at the end of the war in Holland.
oh, cool.
Those are words of war, my friend.
Okay.
But it was a liberation for the German people too.
Okay, for me it's time to sleep. I need to wake up 5 or 4. So yeah,
Bye.
Good night, Ella.
Okay.
great
Bye,
fun.
Ella.
Yeah.
Have a
Bye.
good night and best of luck with your endeavors.
Thank you too. Great job.
Okay. Well, thank you, Janet, for all the work that you did and everything else. That's great.
Oh, my pleasure. And I've recorded the whole thing. So what I'll do is, as soon as it finishes rendering, I'll send it to Mike, and he can then do whatever he needs to do to it, and then he's going to post it, I guess.
Alrighty. You guys are awesome.
All right.
Okay, I guess that's it then.
Yep. Good night, everyone.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Thank
Take
you.
care.